Right, I think we are live and there's
Hi.
no echo. Hello. Okay, so welcome to the Hangout show. I nearly said hangover. One of my clients was winding me up the other day because I always fluff up my words, and she's like, "You're gonna call it the Hangover show one day." So as we are here today, if anyone missed the reason why I started this show, it's purely to do with like connection, to be honest, because when it comes to having a successful business and becoming a successful entrepreneur, it's really, really, really true that you just can't go in alone. Connections like bring so many opportunities. Connections are so important, which, Jade can vouch for this as well. Oh, hi Jackie. Good morning. It's nice to see the names because last week it was like unknown user or whatever it comes up when you don't know who it is. So I'll just let Jade introduce herself very, very quickly, and then we'll just have a little chit chat. And if anyone's got any questions, hi Sarah. Oh yes, afternoon, Jackie. You caught me out there, and I was like, yeah, good morning.
She is on
If
the
anyone
drive,
got any questions,
Bethan's
I
been
know.
having a drink.
If anyone's got any questions for either of us or any kind of topics you want to talk around, then just give us a shout, because myself and Jade have both been in the online industry for a good few years and both of us kind of know our stuff. So yeah, ask away. Jackie's laughing. I'll let Jade introduce herself and tell you a little bit about Jade. If any of you are my clients, which a couple of you are, you would have already met Jade before because she's been in and done some amazing like meditation sessions with us. So anyway, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Before I start, I'm going to say that I'm having tech issues and I can hear myself. So if I've got a bit of feedback, please tell me before I waffle on. But yeah, I'm Jade. I'm Jade Ann. I'm a marketing and mindset coach. So I work with ladies who maybe don't want to go live, feel a bit nervous about that, have got lots of limiting beliefs going on about how successful they can be. And we work on their mindset, get them feeling absolutely so confident that they can just go out there and do anything. And then I help them work on their marketing to make sure they've got the strategy behind it to really push themselves and get out there and do that. So very similar to kind of what Bethan does in that aspect, but I'm working a lot with women at the moment who just feel like after COVID, oh, is this the right thing for me? Should I be doing this anymore? And yeah, just helping them really with their mindset on that as well. So that's kind of how we met a few years ago, didn't we? About three years ago, I think it was.
God, yeah. It's been a while, hasn't it? It seems like it was yesterday, but then it seems like it's been forever as well. Rachel, Monday lunchtime with a Monday hangout. Love it. And that's what it says, Facebook user, when it doesn't say who it is. So hello, Facebook user. I don't know who it is. So like you said there as well, and I think every single person watching this in business can completely and utterly relate to these kind of mindset wobbles, the whole, doubting yourself, doubting everything, because it doesn't matter how successful you get either, it doesn't matter how much money you make, you'll still get these feelings. And that's why, like, I will always work with a coach. Like, I'm part of Kirsty Carden's mastermind, which is signed up to her mastermind, and I'll always be working with different coaches, and it's just really important because I don't think you ever get to a level where you just stop, where it's all okay and you don't have to fight your mindset. I think that's the trick, is to be continuously working on it, isn't it?
I think that's something people kind of look at people who go live and go, yeah, but it's all right for you. You're confident. You can do it, Jade. And I'm like, I'm actually an introvert. I really love my own company. I don't like going out there and being in everybody's face and being around loads of people. But I know I've got a message I want to get out there. I want to help people, so I do it.
Yeah, and those words are like, that's exactly what this show was like founded upon, because like I almost didn't go to a retreat because I was just so in my own space, in my own head. I'm introverted. And when I get, like, my anxiety when it spikes, I do not want to see people. Like, I hide away in my comfort area. And I almost dropped out of that retreat for what I thought was genuine reasons, where, like, it's just not the time. I've got this going on. I've got that going on. I really shouldn't be doing this right now, just hanging about and, it was just all these reasons why I shouldn't go. And then Lee was like, go, just go. And I went, and I'm so glad I went, because so much was just like, I was holding myself back in so many ways and didn't even realize I was doing it. And even now, when I'm constantly working on my mindset and constantly working on being aware, I was still so unaware of how much I was holding myself back. And just like the thoughts as well that was entering my head, like, they like each other better than what they like me. They're more of a clique. I'm out of the loop now because I am bothered with them in so long. Like, all these things we build up in our heads is so shocking, isn't it, that we do it? And that's exactly why I wanted to create this show, to just remind people that, you're never really actually on your own. You're never really the odd one out. It's usually in your head,
I went to an event on Friday up in London, and I was like, I'm not too sure about this. I don't actually know anyone who's going, but there's lots of people I know of who are going, and I'm like, they're way up here, and I'm not sure I'm at their level, and should I? Then I was like, stop a minute, Jade, look, do you want to go? Yes. You want to support the person whose event it is? You go. And I got out my way, I went, I had a good time. Yes, I had a bit of space throughout the night because, yes, I didn't want to be completely like surrounded by people the whole time, but that's okay, as long as you know what you want to do. And it was a great networking opportunity as well. So it's really nice to kind of do that. But yeah, I hate it when I see my clients and they're like, someone's giving me this opportunity, and then they don't take it, and I'm like, why are you not taking it? They're like, but I'm not big enough to do that yet, or I've never done that before, so I'm scared, or who's going to want to listen if I go on there and do that? And the way me and Bethan kind of met was because I put an opportunity out there in a group where I said, I know someone who's got a radio show, they need someone to go on it. I think it was like the next day or a couple of days later.
It was,
wasn't it?
yeah.
And Bethan was like, I'll take it. Like, no hesitation. I'm sure she had someone poking her, telling her to go along.
I did at the time, yeah. Like, if I didn't, there's no way I would have done that. And even now, I think I'd drop out to something like that, because it was literally, it was over in,
it was the other side of the country. It's in Kent.
In Kent, yeah, literally. And it took me like something like 6 hours to get there because the traffic and everything was horrendous. But like when the opportunity was just there, I was like, yeah, I'll do it, because I was working with a coach one-to-one who was like, any opportunity, I don't care what it is, you need to say yes and think later. And I remember just like that popped up the next day, and I was like, yes, me, I'll do it. And then after I was like, Lee, I can't do this. What am I going to do? It's so far. That's like how many hours driving? That's ridiculous. I'll have to stay overnight, but I can't stay overnight because I got work and I got this and it was just crazy, like. But I did it, and it was an amazing opportunity, and it just kind of gives you a bit of a ripple effect. You do something like that, it kind of like puts you on a bit of a, I don't know, it just gives you that like, oomph, yeah, I can do this.
It's a bit of a buzz, isn't it? And you're like, yes, I want more. So I did my first bit of PR a few months ago and got in the newspaper, and I was like, yeah, I'm really excited. And then it came to picking up the phone when the journalist phoned to interview me. I'm like, oh my God, like, hi.
I know.
You have that chat, but then now I've just secured my next piece, and I'm like, actually, good, let's do this, So I feel more confident. And I think it's important to be open about that, because actually we're not all like really confident to start with. We've all got to start somewhere, So we worry about it as much.
Thing is, like, after I did that radio show, I was like, I worked then, and I got myself signed up to a PR agency, and I was getting like loads of different opportunities. And I did all of that, and it was amazing. And then all of a sudden, I remember one of the opportunities I turned down. And then after I turned it down, I kicked myself because I was like, I made up an excuse that I couldn't go, but it was to do with like I had to get up early in the morning, catch a train here to London. I was going to have a photo shoot. I was going to be like 2-page spread in a magazine, all of this stuff. And I just ended up not doing it because I talked myself out of it for loads of ridiculous reasons. And afterwards I was thinking, really should have done that. And then, it's just, the thing is as well, do you find like once you stop yourself doing something, you can end up, before even knowing it, having a bit of a spiraling effect then, because then you're kicking yourself, and then it's the guilt, and then it's like, I'm rubbish. So you can quickly go down as quick as you can like climb as well, can't you? It's just, our mindsets are so powerful. Totally missing in-person events, but it's going to take some courage to get going again. Yeah, but sometimes, I'm sorry, I don't know who it is saying that because it's just got Facebook user. But yeah, I totally get you, because it does, doesn't it? Like, once you've kind of come out to that kind of spotlight thing, if that's what we're talking about in the sense of spotlight and getting visible, it's like, it's so hard to step back into that. Like, I kind of step off it this year after having Caddy and so many things going on. Like, anyone knows me knows I've had a crazy year this year. And it's no wonder, like, I kind of took a step back. But the thing is, instead of seeing it for what it is, like, I had a premature baby, I was really ill, loads of things going on, my nan's been ill, my grandfather had a stroke, all this stuff is going on. Instead of like seeing that and kind of giving yourself a pat on the shoulder and saying, yeah, you know, no wonder you took a step down, no wonder you weren't getting visible. Instead, we kind of kick ourselves, don't we, rather than giving ourselves the permission type of thing.
Yeah, but I had that exact conversation last week with my mastermind ladies. We were in a group, we were chatting about it all, and I said, you know, I just feel like I haven't made as much progress as I wanted to. Since our mastermind finished, we've carried on every week, and, you know, I was doing amazing. Then I took my foot off the gas, and then they went, yeah, and you've had this, and you've had this going on, and this, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
You don't see it yourself, do you?
You know?
Yeah. You just don't see it yourself. Like, it was on the retreat when I was there with the women who I felt I'd taken a step back from, and I was like, in my head, I was like, they've all got this lovely clique, and because I haven't spoken to them for so long, I'm the outsider. And yet, when I was there talking to them and opening up and saying how I was feeling, they were like, Beth, you're being so hard on yourself. Like, you know, you had this go on, that go on. And I'm like, how do they know I've had all this go on? And I'm like, well, of course they know I've had all this go on. But yet it's in our heads. It's like, and then when I was looking back through, I went to message a couple of them after the retreat. And then I'd seen messages in there, like, you know, with them checking in on me to see how I'd been doing when I had the baby. And it's like, I'd completely forgotten that they, you know, so in my head when I'm thinking, you know, the most ridiculous things, like people have been on my friends, they just, you know, when it's us, we get in our own way of friendships, we get in our own way of like opportunities, connections, all these things, because, and it's for loads of different reasons. Sometimes you're scared, sometimes, you know, like I've got a massive fear of connections, and really uncovered a lot of stuff on that retreat of why I'm so scared to connect with people on like a deeper level. But it's crazy, but at the same time, like, it's just as easy, it seems hard, but it is actually just as easy to step back on that platform as it is to kind of fall off it. Yeah. And it just clicks, doesn't it? And once it clicks, you're just there. And like, you know, it took me that one retreat. Before that, I felt like I was completely and utterly off, like falling off the platform. And then takes me that one little retreat, and I'm feeling like, boom, here I am again. And even though, like, all my audience, my clients would be like, really? I don't think you've fallen off the platform. You've been visible through it all. But I've not felt visible. No. Does that make sense? Because in here, isn't it? Hi, Lisa.
Being a mindset person, for me, it's all about that inner critic we've got in there, watches everything that goes on, and then it stores it all as information, and it goes, right, I'm going to remind you, Bethan, that you haven't been live as much as what you used to be, so therefore I'm going to say that's a failure, or I'm going to tell you that's not good enough. Or maybe because you've stepped back because you've had a baby, maybe you haven't had a new massive launch, but because you haven't had that massive launch because you've been bringing up a newborn baby, that means that you're not successful. So this little critic is telling you all these stories that are making you go, oh my God, yeah, it's right. I can't do this. What was I thinking? I can't do that. I can't show up again. What's it going to be thinking? When actually all of those cheerleaders you've got around you, all of those people who have worked with you, all those people in your audience are cheering and rooting you on, and your mind isn't even listening to that. Like, that's where the mindset work has to come in and go, hold on, look at all these amazing people who are going, yes, Bethan, you're smashing this. Yes, Jade, we love what you do, you know, that sort of thing. And that's where it comes on, working on the mindset, isn't it? Turning that inner critic into, like, you need to be your own biggest cheerleader, really.
So, seeing as we're on the topic, seeing as we've fallen into the topic of getting visible and how your mindset can kind of stop you from getting visible, what kind of tips, like what would be your biggest tips and advice for anyone who's feeling like Facebook user, sorry, we don't know your name, who says they need to find the courage to get going again? What kind of tips or exercise advices would you say, where to start, like sort of thing?
First of all, the first thing you need to do is realise that you've actually got that issue or that thought pattern going on. So the fact that you know already, I'm going to have to build up the courage, is a good thing. Because sometimes, like Bethan said earlier, you're making up all these excuses and you haven't actually realised it's a mindset issue in the first place.
Yeah.
So take note of it. And if you think, okay, what's stopping me going to these in-person events is what's making me feel like that, sit there with a cup of tea and do some journaling. Just write it down, anything that comes into your head. What is that reason? What am I scared of? Am I scared of having conversations with people because I'm not sure what to say? Am I scared of having conversations because I'm not sure I'm as good as them? Am I scared because actually I'm a bit worried about the COVID situation? I've not been out of the house very much. So whatever those things are that come up, write them all down. And then what I do, are we allowed to swear on here, Bethan, or not?
Yeah, crack on.
Okay. We screw it up and we throw it in the bullshit bin, because that's where it belongs. Those are the beliefs that you don't want anymore. And then you flip them on your head and you start to think, okay, what do I want instead? So if I'm scared and think I'm not adequate enough to be around these people, for example, because they make more money than me or because they're much more successful than I am, then we write all the things that we know that are the reasons why that's a bullshit excuse. So it is bullshit because you have got a successful business already, or you have an online following already, or you've got a really strong message and people resonate with that message. They watch your lives or they comment on your posts, or people who you've worked with have said, oh, thanks so much, you've changed my life. So you go through all of those excuses your mind is telling you, and you find all the positive, all the things that are going to start to build you up again, so that you can kind of turn, like we said, that critic into a cheerleader. So every time that negative thought comes, instantly you recognise it and you throw it away again, and you say, and the reason that's bullshit is because, and you start telling it all those positive things again. And that's a really simple, easy thing that you can do by yourself. But imagine doing that every day. So you've got an event in a week's time, and every single day you say to yourself, I'm going to that event. And if you feel that dread coming in your tummy, get it on paper. Where is that dread coming from? What is it? Bullshit bin it. And then write all the positives out, say them out loud. I am confident, I am a successful businesswoman, I am going to share my message, I'm going to change people's lives, whatever those things might be. And keep reinforcing it with yourself. By the time 6 days, 7 days later, you are going to wake up, you're going to stand there in the mirror, put your superwoman pose on, if you know what I'm talking about, hands on hips in front of the mirror. You're going to say your positive statement, I am going today, I'm going to be amazing, I'm going to enjoy it. And then you just go there and let yourself go with it. And you'll be surprised when you go with a smile on your face, how many people instantly make contact with you. Their eye contact's there, their body posture's open, and they're like, oh my God, look at that woman walking in feeling really good. And that instantly is going to flip you inside as well to go, yes, that's it. Because if you turn up feeling, oh, I feel rubbish, I'm worried, and people see you come in like that, you're not perceived to be a person that they're going to want to approach and talk to. Whereas if you walk in and you're like, yes, I'm owning this, I'm doing this, I've made the decision to come here, that's the sort of person everyone wants to talk to. So
definitely. And I think those steps as well that you've just said there, each one of them needs to be like a completed process. So you said like about, acknowledging it, being aware of it, journal, pull it all out, reflect, and then action plans. So positive affirmations, and actually take action as well on those things. Because I think sometimes as well, people can slip into a rut of journaling all the time and doing positive affirmations all the time. But if you don't actually take that final action of doing the thing that you were scared of, you can still kind of be masking it a bit, can't you? So I always say, do the all-rounder, do the journaling, unmask what it is, do the affirmations to feel positive, but do the thing as well. Because it's when you actually step into that thing and do it that you really kind of uncover it and sort of feel like, I can actually do this, It's really important that you do all of those steps, isn't it?
I've been really getting into the law of the universe, and there's 12 universal laws, and if I ask anyone about it, they'll always say to me, oh yeah, I've heard of the law of attraction, because that's the most common one, and everyone thinks, yes, I can sit there and manifest my best life. But that's not how it works. There's also another universal law called the law of action, which exactly as Bethan said, you can't sit there and just expect this stuff to happen to you. You have to actually take action on it as well. So it's about working on this and then taking the action to help allow that into your life, to
Yeah.
allow the good stuff to happen. How can you make a 10k month if you've sat on your bum and done nothing? You can't.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. But
No.
if you've gone, actually, this is what I want, I feel really positive about it, I'm going to put everything into it, I'm going to take that action, absolutely it's achievable. So yeah,
definitely, it's an all-rounder for sure. So like, not just that, and if you've got any questions, guys, do just shout them our way when we're at it, because it is important that you kind of take these opportunities to ask the questions if you're feeling stuck. So like, not just that, we spoke then and we took like examples of anyone who's kind of already in business type of thing, and we said about like, oh, you know, if you think about the positives, so like you're already doing lives, or you've already got a client saying this, which you can like hide from or ignore type of thing. So like for newbies then, like completely new to business, what kind of things would you say to like people who are totally new and like just stepping into it? Because like I know I've got a few tips, so I'll let you like take the stage and say what you've got, and then I'll sort of fill in any dots that I think of around that.
Well, the biggest one is looking at what other people are doing online and then going, how can I ever be like her? You know, I want to be like Bethan. Yeah, but Bethan's been in business for how long? And you're just starting out. So, and Bethan's very good because Bethan will share with her audience and be very honest and open, so you guys see what is happening behind the scenes, but a lot of people don't. So don't start comparing. If you think I'm good enough to set up a business, I'm excited about it, I think like I've got something to offer the world, that's what you've got to bottle, that feeling, that excitement from the beginning. And then anything that tries to derail you by seeing, actually, I'm going to be, I don't know, I'm going to be a therapist, and because I'm going to be a therapist, I'm going to change the world. You're all excited. And then you realise, oh, actually, there's 10 million other therapists out there, so what makes me different? Why is anybody else going to buy from me? The most important thing to remember is you are unique, and people are going to buy from you because you're you. So someone will come and see me for therapy opposed to someone else because they resonate with my personality and my methods opposed to the other person, and that's cool. And some clients won't want to come to me because they'll be like, she's a bit crazy, she swears, I don't want to see her. And that's fine. They'll go to someone else. And as a newbie, you've got to kind of remember, yes, the entrepreneurial journey is like that. It is highs, it is lows. That's kind of what we signed up for. We expect that. But actually, your uniqueness is what's going to help you to sell. That's what's going to resonate you and your ideal clients together. And you've got to really focus on not worrying about what everyone else is doing. Don't worry if someone does something similar. Don't worry if their brand looks like yours. Don't worry if their messaging is similar. They're not you. They are not you. And as long as the people who are really successful in business are the people who have that mindset, they're like, I'm just going to go out there, I'm going to do it, I'm going to serve my clients because I absolutely want to give to them, and they're not worried about anything else. So don't be hard on yourself. We all start somewhere. I started a business with no followers. I'd only been a qualified therapist for like a month, not even a month, I think. And I went on the radio station because I got invited. And I was like, I've only been in business 3 weeks. They're like, it's fine. Get out there. Do it. I'm like, okay. You know.
Oh, glad it's helping.
But so I needed to hear this today. That's really good. Good. But tell us, what are the things that you're struggling with at the moment? Because it might be that me and Bethan can help you. We can give you We've been there. We
definitely.
Like that too.
And that's the thing, like, I think every entrepreneur has been there as well. And like, when you were saying about the whole comparison thing, like when you look at other people in the space, I always find, and I find all my clients and everyone will say this as well, there's two kind of people you will look up to, and like, they will either really inspire you or they can trigger you. So like when you're looking in the online space, and because it's really crowded, isn't it? There's so many people around you, and you can like follow people, and they'll be the ones who just always inspire you no matter what. You don't get triggered by them. They just inspire you. And if you're feeling that way towards them, brilliant. Keep following them, because that's what you want, is that inspiration. But if you ever find any of them kind of trigger you, and don't worry if this, like, it's not your fault, it's not their fault. It might just be something that it triggers you. But if it's like a repeated thing that person like triggers whatever feeling, maybe it's a feeling like, oh, but how do they, like, it could be like a friendship feeling. It could be like, like an audience reaction feeling, that it could be anything, but if you were feeling like a tiniest bit of a trigger and it's happening a lot with a certain person, just remove them, like delete them. Don't feel, and I think a lot of the time as well, like I've avoided like deleting or unfollowing certain people in the online space because I've genuinely really liked them and they've genuinely never done anything wrong. But there's some people that you just get those little triggers about, and that's natural. It's okay, like it's natural. Like we all get tiny bits of like, you know, jealousy feelings or kind of like, you know, feelings that why can't you be a bit more like that, or why can't you feel a bit more? So it's like if you get those triggers and it's just happening a lot around certain people, just remove them, because like you don't want that kind of negativity and you don't want to feed off that negativity. You don't want to like spiral that kind of feeling. So focus and surround yourselves with the people who only make you feel good, you know? This is great stuff. My mindset holds me back. Sarah, honestly, it holds everyone back. And even the people like, you know, the Tony Robbins of the entrepreneur world, even the people on the largest of the levels, like I guarantee you, they have mindset wobbles and demons too. Everyone does. It's how you deal with that, how you react to it. Sarah says, I'm really struggling with my mindset, but listening to you today, I realise that I need to do more work on it. Yeah, definitely. We all need to do more work on our mindset. Lisa, another great show. So relatable. Thank you, ladies. You're very welcome. Yeah, what else? Is there anything else you want to like add to all of this, seeing as the conversation has gone, which is a perfect kind of way it's gone, really, because Jade is like a mindset expert. And it just so happens that this show has really like gone into mindset talk, really. So is there anything else you want to add?
A little tip. So one of my ladies last week, she said to me, I'm really getting triggered by my family commenting on my lives when I go live. Because they're being silly and they're saying things and it doesn't look professional. And something that I didn't realise for a little while is you can actually have separate friends lists on your Facebook. So on your personal profile, if you're choosing to go live on there, you can actually restrict who can watch stuff. So if you've got family on there, put a little family like group together.
You can have like a folder, can't you?
Yeah, and then you can edit it so that if you're going live or you're posting something, you can actually choose who sees it, and you can choose that to everybody except, and then you can put that family group or those friends or those work colleagues or whoever it is that you don't want to see it, and at least then you have that reassurance that you can go live, you can be visible, and you don't have to worry about their judgment, because we all know that most people don't understand entrepreneurs, they don't understand our mind, they don't understand the decisions we make, and that's fine, but we don't want to hear their opinions about it because that's negative talk that we don't want to listen to. So just stick them in the little friends folder, leave them there, and hide whatever you need to from them. It's fine.
That's a really, really, really good tip, that is, because it's so true as well that, like, you know, not everyone understands the online space. Not everyone understands it. Like the amount of my family and friends who kind of thought I was absolutely crazy giving up my qualified radiography job to go into an online business. They didn't see it as a real business. I think a lot of people still don't really understand it, but it doesn't matter because they're never going to be in that kind of business space. It doesn't matter. It's like irrelevant. So don't be afraid to, like, you know, remove them from things. And the separating the lists is really good tactic. I never thought of it from a mindset perspective, actually, because I've always thought of it from like a sales perspective. When I've done like sales courses and stuff before, I've been taught to use the lists for targeting different people so that you can put posts out for certain people, put things out, and you can even find hot leads, so you can put like hot leads together and you can target them better then, and things like that. But I never thought of it from like a mindset perspective of getting visible and using that kind of to separate. Because it does make a big difference. I remember when I first started out, and I remember when I was doing my first launch, I was still working in the hospital. And as I was like doing my masterclass live and I was seeing the comments pop up and so-and-so's watching, and there was people I was working with in the hospital watching live, and I was just feeling like, oh my God, this is putting me off. They can see me doing this and they're like, what's she doing? She's a radiographer. Why is she like trying to sell something online? And I felt awful, and it really does mess with you, doesn't it? but we can't let it mess with us. We really can't.
No, not at all. And I remember, like, when I started out, kind of like you, everyone was like, why are you going to have an online business? Like, are you going to rip everyone off? And people used to say that to me, like, you're going to rip people off and take their money.
Yeah.
No,
And my brother said that to me, actually.
Yeah, and I had other therapists who were saying stuff to me like, you're going to charge so much money that people won't be able to access you, you're unethical and all of this. So then that's getting in your mindset as well.
Yeah.
Like, am I unethical for being a therapist that charges more than £30 an hour, because they're like, nobody can afford you. But actually, it's not about that at all, So just make sure you've got a separate life for those people who you maybe want on there. Like Bethan said, if you want to delete people, delete them, that's fine. But here I am 3.5 years on, and I even got a message last week and I loved it. It's from one of my guy friends who I've been friends with since I was like 16, who's like, just wanted to send you a message to say how nice it is to see how successful your business is now, because I'd been posting stuff about something I had coming out, and I thought, yeah, too right, taking your time to get there, but you've given that recognition, like, thanks, and that was really nice. But it's taken 3.5 years to get there, from being a con artist to being like
to feeling like a fraud. That's so funny, because recently I've been getting more and more people who I know from my past life, as I call it, before the entrepreneurial life, becoming clients and people in my audience. And that's when you kind of realize as well, I have made it, because people who you would always think back then, like, didn't see you as an expert in that area. And then all of a sudden, the people who knew you before now know you as this expert. Does that make sense? It's like, and it's, you kind of see it then. So, it's quite fantastic. Jesus, Belly, I thought you would talk fast, Beth. Catherine is like literally lives abroad from me. She like basically known me all my life. And we always have this joke because we talk really fast. So I think she's taking the mick, Jade. I think she's saying you talk fast as well.
I'm from Kent. I'm from Kent. We don't talk fast, but I do get excited. So, when I'm excited.
Anyway, does anyone have any questions? Let me just have a little flick back through, make sure we haven't missed any questions before we say love you and leave you. New level, new devil. I like that. Yeah. We still don't know who Facebook user is. They haven't told us their name. We'll find out now when we go back out and look in. Another great show. Good. In the nicest way. Jeepers, love it. God help when we have Kath on this show. The two of us will be like, blah, 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 blah. Okay, anyway, I think that's it. I can't see any questions. But if anyone does have any questions, or anyone watching this on the replay, just pop questions in the comments, and I will tag Jade into this as well, so she will see the questions too, and we will always come back and answer any questions you have on the thread. Gonna love you and leave you, and we will catch you again. Bye.